Well, hello and welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Today's episode is number 130, and today's date is October the 4th, 2024. My name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm with A.J. Royce.
Hello, everybody.
We're recording this a little late because our location, we did get caught in the big storm of Hurricane Helene, and it was pretty amazing to watch everything that went on and is still going on. And my heart goes out to all of those who've been very were affected, and loss of life, loss of property. It was pretty devastating. So, Royce, do you have, because you were hit where you're at. So,
yeah, we had a lot of trees down and without power for a lengthy time, but we have it back now. So it's a wonderful thing. You learn the things that you can do without and the things that you truly do appreciate when you get them back.
Well, you do appreciate it. We're in separate locations, so we may talk over each other on occasion. But anyway, where I'm located, we were without electricity for 6.5 days, I believe, and but very thankful for neighbors that assisted and came together. I borrowed a camping stove, so I was able to even make coffee in the morning, and I cooked a lot of big meals because I either eat or, what's in my fridge or it's going to be thrown out. So, you flow with it, what's going on, and you find out that you can do it. But We're certainly creatures of habit, but then the cleanup is very hard, so or can be difficult. So, we'll find out more about North Carolina. Some of the hardest hit areas aren't that far from me, closer to where you are, Royce.
Yes.
About a half an hour or so.
And those poor people, I'll tell you what, they truly could use your prayers and your positive thoughts and positive energies. And please search out the numbers to call if you can't go in person to help. The numbers to call, there are a lot of different agencies involved in getting help to these people, and they need it pretty desperately.
Yeah, they do. I know there's from the Greenville area that a lot of supplies are being flown in to a couple different airports. People that have trucks or larger vehicles are picking up a lot of those supplies, taking it to another warehouse, and then it's being helicoptered up to areas in the mountains that where the roads are washed out. So, I personally have not gone that far from where I live yet, and it took a while to really go anywhere because the streets were blocked with trees and down power lines. So it was little. You had to watch what you were doing.
Yes. I was in the middle of it. I was of the storm. I was taking a picture of the wind blowing through the trees, and it's amazing how flexible the trees can be, but they only withstand just so much, and then they can't take it anymore. And then I looked at the picture and I thought, that tree looks like it's on tilt. And I looked back at it, and there it went. It just fell right over. So, these huge, amazing trees that have been there for years and years and years have given it up. And the way I see it is they are, it's like the old passing away and the new taking its place. So there's a renewal going on our whole planet, and it's it's an amazing thing to see how it is coming about. It's a bit scary when you see it coming about by way of a storm, but then when you can look back on it to see what's happening, it's quite an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is, and I heard that we could get some strong winds, but man, I was not expecting what we got. And
yeah, it was a bit more than strong winds.
Yes, we're pretty far north in South Carolina, and not far from in South Carolina, not far from North Carolina, and usually by the time one of the tropical storms or hurricanes come up here, it's a lot less devastating. But this one seemed like it gained momentum. So I heard it may have had help, but with some of the weather weaponizations that have been used. But I'm only going to say that once because I don't know for sure if that happened. As I know, the winds were very strong, and many of the trees that fell because the ground was very saturated with water from the day before, that the roots just popped, came out of the ground. And a lot of oak trees.
Yes, a whole lot of oak trees. And, to the extent that we experienced it, 911 was out of order for days, at least up here. So, it was interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was here or not. Just the phones did not work very well. Of course, no electricity, so to charge our phone is start your car.
Yep, that's right. Electricity by way of car.
Yes, and it's amazing how we can adapt. And for a while, it was actually kind of fun in a way because it's like, what can you do? And
but that's for the ones that have shelter still.
That's true. Exactly. There's I think the death toll up in North Carolina is, and maybe here in South Carolina, I don't know yet. I'm just we've had electricity less than 2 days, so I'm just acclimatizing myself as to what really went on, and I'm as far as the wind gust or the winds, I don't know what they were yet, so I haven't looked that up, but I probably will.
Yeah, we were without news, without a way of being able to tell exactly what was going on anywhere. You just dealt with what the hand that you got dealt, and just tried to make it from day to day.
That's it. That's a good metaphor for life, because that's the way we are. Take care of ourselves, and then you come together. I did notice a lot of people, community coming together, neighbor to neighbors, help. It was overall from where I live, the neighbors just were out and helping wherever they could. It was really, really nice. And neighbors wanted to make sure I was well taken care of, and I was. And another neighbor, we got out the wine, and I made wonderful meals. So there's a lot of block parties going on, and you get the kids outside and playing, and versus on their tablets. And so it was really refreshing to see people out, even though it was kind of a mess. But it, the highlight of it, except, then, and this is an area where, we didn't have the mudslides and that sort of thing, or hurt. So, but anyway, it's just interesting to take a look at life and how each of us and myself managed through it all. So, you do what you can do. So, anyway, sending lots of love to all those people that still are going through a lot, and those that are having trouble with what happened. And it can affect your psyche. And so send these people love, and try to dispel that. It's up to them, I understand. But when you put that out, then it helps calm them down. So, and how they react to it, that's up to them, not up to you.
Yeah.
So it's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to assist whenever you can. But then if it's not accepted, then so be it. So, lessons of life through a big storm.
Yeah.
Well, Royce, you and I did get together on Tuesday without electricity, and we did get insights, but we just really couldn't do a podcast. We didn't have the power or the phone service to do that. So, but we're going to share today what those insights are, and then we're going to go from there. All right. Anything else you want to say before we get going, Royce?
No, I think that was it.
All right. Good. All right. One thing, as we were talking before this podcast, but one thing I forgot to talk about is how that word trust came back up, and for me, and it's like, okay, how much do I trust in some of this information, et cetera, and especially for myself or in trusting myself. So, and I have to admit, I still question a lot, and so that will keep coming up until you really feel comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, and what is it that you place your trust in? And it always comes back around to the self.
Yep.
Because the external things can either fall away, fail, or become non-existent, and so the thing that you trust is yourself.
Yeah. The more that you do that, each of us do that, the more that we're going to all get along, because you'll start feeling that peace within.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about as we're moving on in this, if you want to call it ascension plan, or that we all put together, all part of. So again, it's like, man, are we going to get it? But, still give ourselves a lot of credit for and pat on the back to be where we're at today. So at least that's my take on it, because I know personally I've come a long way. So anyway, and Royce is very good at pointing things out.
And so are you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call each other. Yeah, we call each other up short on whatever it is that we see, because that's what true friends do. Exactly,
and you don't get offended.
Yeah,
and you might a little bit, then it doesn't last very long, and it's like, oh, okay. So, anyway, yeah, it's been quite a adventure. All right, yeah. I'm going to get into my insight that I received,
okay.
and then Royce received a great insight, and then we're also going to talk about these beings that did come and visit us, and after we give our insights, and we're going to talk about that and some of the messages that they gave us. So, but hold on, we'll get to that in just a bit. So, all right, my insight is as follows. A sequence of events is about to take place. It is the unfolding of a planet takeover by the benevolent ones. The outcasts are to the end of their rope, unable to maintain their hold. It is all your freedom from the tyranny of the ancient ones, who have held this planet hostage for many millennia. Their deceit continues to unravel. Then it is like a bull, as in a bull, a bull comes into the ring, moving out all nebulous debris. Then the bull retreats back to its pen to be fully released into a pasture. And just to insert, I thought, well, that was kind of an interesting way of looking at it. And, I can visualize like a raging bull coming into a pen, like a rodeo or whatever, but without a rider or anything like that. And then it's moving all the debris out of there. And then it's like when that's done, it goes back to its pen, and then it's released to its natural habitat. So it's just an interesting way of looking at it. So I thought that was great. All right, I will continue on. It said, "Dear ones, you and we have awaited this moment for oh so long. The end is near, and all will be spilled out. Tyranny no more. It is you to take the reins for your own lives, each of you living peacefully together." So that goes to what we talked about on trust. And then I got the sequence of events, and I'm just going to read 4 of them, and then we're going to get into what Royce has to share. 1, and this is stuff we've already talked about, and this is what I received, so I'm just, giving you the message. And so, I can't say it's definite or anything like that. So I want to put that out there that this is what I was told. So anyway, here we go. 1 is the removal of United States Congress. Number 2, President and Vice President forced to step down, and other heads of state or countries are also relinquishing their power. Number 3, military to maintain peace. And then I saw a wave of benevolent pink energy sweeping the earth. So like a softness to help with this transition that is going on. So it was really neat to see that. Yeah. Then I was seeing lights in the sky, and that's what we're going to talk about in just a bit. And hold on to that. So, and then lastly, I received, "This may sound like a fantastical voyage of the souls of mankind, and it is. It is you returning to who you truly are, letting go of all shackles that have stymied your progressive evolution. However, through these processes have all, that's capital A, all grown in their understanding of soul, S-O-U-L, life, and life in the body, a grand adventure for us all." In other words, it's all of us and beyond those of us on earth at this time. And so it goes out far and wide as to what's happening on this earth right now. So we're being watched very closely by many, many, many beings throughout the universes. So, something to contemplate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is. It is. When, and I don't know about you, but when you feel like somebody's watching what you're doing, it kind of makes you want to do even a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it can be intimidating, and then you just shrug your shoulder and say, "Oh well, go ahead and watch. Yeah. I don't care." There's nobody judging you but you yourself. So keep that in mind. So otherwise, the fear creeps in. But it's like, okay, whatever. So okay, Royce, please share.
Okay. The first thing I got was everything is a facade. So, there's something going on behind the scenes that is very good, but the stuff on the surface, it's stuff that's going to disappear. I closed my eyes and I saw bunches of pink roses. They were the vine type that had so many petals. I mean, they were just full, They were absolutely beautiful. And then I wrote the words something big in very capital letters is going to happen, and then the word happy. And then I started writing. I am the vine, you are the fruit. Be not dismayed over current and coming events, for they are as a flash in the pan, short-lived, intense, but short. And then I got, they are trying to shackle my servant for the greater good, but how do you shackle the wind? He is a good and gracious man who has and is giving his all. He, as well as those who help him, will be blessed. The night falls, but only on the wicked, for the light of a new day is coming for those whose house is made of stone and light. With amazement, those who dwell within the higher realms are watching this great battle between the light and the darkness, a battle all of us have had to navigate in order to receive the blessing of proceeding onward through the halls of Amenti. And I'll talk more about the halls of Amenti in just a minute. It has been written that the lion shall lay down with the lamb, a foretelling of the treaty of peace between the earth and those from the stars. Get ready, prepare yourselves for the arrival of your true brothers and sisters. And the person who was delivering that message through me had on a robe, the kind that robe, R-O-B-E, the kind that has the very large sleeves. So it was a very loose-fitting robe, and it was of light gray. And there was a bow between us in closing. And I wanted to go back to this thing about the halls of Amenti. They had to they had to navigate the rough stuff before proceeding onward through the halls of Amenti. Now, the halls of Amenti are on the earth, underneath the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid was built over top of it. And if you read the Emerald Tablets by this book, the Emerald Tablets was put out by L'Oreal. Thoth, Thoth, built the Great Pyramid over the halls of Amenti. He had been making use of, established and had been making use of the halls of Amenti for quite some time. Amenti is a place of unaffected preservation and renewal. He would go there and renew his body. Every 50 years he did that. And then when it was time for him to leave that body, he did so with ease, not going through death. He had conquered death. So to me, this place of Amenti is a place where the dynamics of the universal laws that we know that apply to the planet Earth just do not apply. It's like space and time continuum herniates to contain a totally different space governed by a different and more expanded set of laws. So Thoth had learned how to manipulate the laws and made use of it to renew himself in the halls of Amenti. So,
now when you say, okay, when you mention manipulate, that doesn't mean try to change it, but use them.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, one thing you said is through your insight, you said, how do you shackle the wind?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what that all referred to, but I thought, wow, you can't.
Yes, this is referring to a person who is trying his best to do good right now and who is trying to be shackled. So they were referring to a physical man.
Okay. And it doesn't work. And this man will prevail. So, and many of you may guess who that is. So, okay. Okay, do you want to go further on that?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll just leave it as it is.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. That was really good. Everything is a facade. Huh. And it's being outed now.
Yep.
Talking about the great reveal. And we can see, so much revelations going on a daily basis. So, with this whole P. Diddy, even the so-called wars, Iran, Israel, all of that. I hate for anybody to, go through hardships, and that's still going on. It's like, okay, enough's enough. And we've been saying that for quite a while, yet it still goes on until this whole thing comes tumbling down. And
like you said, enough's enough. We have had all this time to choose something better, and we have not done it. So when you keep going, you either keep going on that path and totally destroy yourself, or something happens for your eyes to open so you can make a better choice. And I think we're going through that time of our eyes being opened.
Exactly. And when you look at that, yes, you have empathy for the people, but don't get caught in that empathy. In other words, if it brings you down and you're staying down, you're not helping anybody, obviously yourself or anybody else, because you're holding that lower energy. And then, even it will get me, it bothers me. And then I thought, okay, send love, just send love. And I tell you what, then that dissipates rather quickly. And then again, as for the people to use what benefits them the most, if they choose to. They may not choose to again, but it's eventually those of us on Earth are going to get it. So, okay, Royce, you want to talk about the lights in the sky? And the two beings came and visited us, and it was a male and a female. And
so the male was the one who was delivering that message through me. Excuse me.
Yeah. He was kind of a big guy, and we asked, who are you and all of that, and he basically said, it doesn't matter, but you can feel the energy. And we're going to go into what he had to say, but first I'm going to, Royce, you were turning the female then stepped forward, and I'm going to let you take it from there because you were seeing hand gestures, I can't say the word, gestures. So, but I think it'll be bring people to ease as what you were receiving on who she is.
Well, excuse me. What was coming from the male was the he said that they speak through symbology, and so you'll get into that, I guess. But the gestures she was making, that she just had a flowing way of hand movement, and she presented personal things to Bev and I, and she said that she had presented herself on this planet as Mother Mary, as Lorcia, as some had mistaken as Portia, and Kuan Yin, to name a few. She said that she maintains her knowledge when she comes into the physical. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, when she comes into the physical. And let me see. And then she made a peaceful salutation gesture, and then she was gone.
Yeah. Just a very, I could feel a very soft energy with her. It's very peaceful and loving, gentle.
Yeah, both of them. You know, they weren't forceful with their energy at all. They just came to deliver what they delivered, and then they peacefully left. You know.
Yeah, they did.
But we have both experienced a lot of different energies with these visitations that we get. And, you know, the more you experience, the more it wakes you up to the discernment between the different types of energies. And so, you know, we could tell right off the bat that we didn't have to, pardon me, to be worried about any falsehoods being delivered from these people.
Mhm. Yeah. So now, when we say they visited, we could see them through using our third eye, and so you could make out and their shape and a little bit about them, but it's not clear as looking at somebody physically. But when you're using your third eye, you can definitely tell the height and what they're wearing and that sort of thing. Sometimes what they're wearing, but not always. It's just more their energy. So I just want to put that out. Okay, you had mentioned that this the male spoke through symbology, and then what I was seeing was I feel this is going to happen. So we'll see. This is part of the sequence of events. That there's going to be a lot of flying crafts, spaceships or whatever terminology you want to use, and they were connecting to form geometric figures. So in other words, they look kind of like laser lines, and making different their message through the symbology, through the geometric figures, and it reminded me some of the drone shows that you now see in the skies, where they rearrange themselves to make different words in the sky or pictures or whatever it may be. And also, I guess CGI is what they call it. Yeah, up in the sky. However they do that. But this is actually using. It look like lasers. It might be another technology. Not sure.
They stressed that this was not CGI that they were making use of.
Yeah. And then they say you're going to be able to tell. So I did. Let's just go on to what Royce started speaking. He started speaking, and so Royce wrote down what I said, what he said through me, and you. So go ahead and share that.
Okay. He said that he was speaking to Bev and I, so he said we are their megaphone, and the more that we impart the knowledge that was given, the easier that it would be for all the people listening. Then you asked if they would be coming in physicality, in a physical form. And he said most of it would be synchronous, and you saw a blanket. It was like an energetic blanket fluttering out, as if you had you were making the bed and you threw the sheet so that it fluttered down onto a bed, that type of look of energy. But it was a telepathic communication, and the color of it was pink. It said if there was a need, they would manifest physically, not CGI. And that's when you saw the ships shooting these energetic lines between themselves, making these different geometric designs that morphed from one to another. And the last one that you saw was a dodecahedron with a rose in the center of it. And the color of the rose went from white to pink to white to blue.
Yeah. Yeah. The pink to me is love, white is pure energy, and the blue, can you explain the blue, Royce?
Let me see.
Give us a moment here, folks.
I'm going to see if I can find something on that.
Well, I know it just came to me.
What?
It was knowledge.
Yeah. It can be associated with memory, divine will. Let me see. Yeah, that's what. So yeah, what you said, that's the knowledge.
Okay. So from what I was gathering from this communication is that it's for all of us to see. So, is that going to be seen all around the earth? And I'm thinking yes. So is it going to be that, show on one side of the earth and then the other side of the earth? I'm not sure how they're going to do it or how close to the earth they're going to be. I'm guessing not that close, but it's going to be big enough that it will be physically seen. At least that's what I was getting from the communication.
Yeah, and we've gotten that sort of thing before. Was that they were going to make themselves known, and there would be no question.
Yeah, that's right. So it's going to be like wow. So that's to come. Is that part of the big, capital B, capital I, capital G that he told you about? Something big is about to happen. Is that it? Maybe. Yeah. And what else did he have to say, or are you finished?
Yeah, we just had a conversation after that when we were working up what it was we were going to be talking about. We just went into a conversation about beings who appear to be dark beings, and I was wondering whether they began their existence as dark beings or whether they were light beings who had been overcome by the darkness, like a wave of darkness that was opportunistic and hungry. And it reminded me of the nothing that appeared in the movie The Never-Ending Story. And the nothing appeared when the people lost their connection to their hopes and dreams. So it's came across to me that it's very important for us at this particular time to keep our energy up and our thought patterns up as much as we possibly can, so that we don't open a door to our internal selves to let darkness seep in and bad thoughts and that's not going to help anybody. When things are appearing dark on the planet, you have to raise up yourself so that you can help to turn that around.
Yeah. Now, each of us has the wherewithal to change it, and and we've discussed how to do that simply, about bringing in the light, and I think.
And just by the simple thought, just the thought of raising your vibration. I have noticed that with myself. It's like if I can get myself into a quiet environment, so that I can think clearly and think, raise your vibration, and I can actually feel it. It responds. So, it's not like you have to go through a bunch of hocus pocus to do it.
It's interesting you said hocus pocus.
Mm-hmm.
Going through a long drawn out process, unless you want to. And hocus pocus doesn't mean dark. It means just moving along, and we can do it quicker than we think. It's actually pretty easy.
Yeah. The old way is going through all of the there's a word that I'm looking for. Having to go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4, making it really hard, but that was getting us to learn who we are. But we are in a different place now than we used to be. So we can do so much more just by thought.
Yeah. Well, the energy on the earth is the frequency of the earth is raising and rising, rising, and we are with it. And the more we fight it, we're going to find it doesn't work with our bodies. So think about that too. Even going through all of this stuff that's happening right now across the world, and I've been calling it crazy times. Overall, the light quotient on the earth is raising. So just remember that, and the more that you feed into yourself in a more benevolent way, that's how you assist with that whole thing. It's not going to be outside of ourselves. It is us doing it. And Mother Earth, too. Okay, Royce?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any more to say on that?
No.
Okay. All right, good. All right. Thank you all. I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah, I think we picked off all the things we were going to talk about.
Yep. So again, exciting times. What I received about this is a planet takeover by the benevolent ones, and you saw it as a vine and the roses with so many petals. I can picture that. And that we are the roses. So with all these aspects of ourselves, that's what I see each petal. So it's interesting that the rose comes up quite a bit. And Royce means rose, right?
Yeah, it's Old English for rose, R-O-Y-S-E. Yeah.
Yeah. So how about that? So just remember, it's it's freedom for all of us, and we think we're free, but I think it came up in the last episode that we don't really know what freedom is, and we got it, then it's like no going back. And I wanted to point out the ancient ones. There's a lot of ancient ones, and that came out in what I received. And there have been some ancient ones that were not very benevolent, and they wanted to control the earth, and so they did their best to do that. And that, again, is what's playing out now. It's like they're let loose, and it's not working anymore. And so that's what all this reveal is.
Yeah, their whole agenda has been slavery of every kind, and that doesn't fly anymore.
It does not. So, in your thoughts, what do you want to see? How do you want to see this world or yourself? And do it not for the world, because it's for yourself. Okay, how would you, look at your life and you're doing the job that you absolutely love, and because it's not a job anymore, it's a love of life that you're putting into it for yourself and others. And so it's not a selfish thing, it's quite the opposite. So, start taking a look at how you want to manifest your life into the most positive way possible. Okay. All right. Well, I thank you all for joining us today. We'll be back, hopefully, if we don't have any more storms, big storms. And it's our next recording will be on the 15th of this month of October. Oh my God, I almost said November. Yeah. I think a lot more is going to come out this month from what we've been getting and hearing. But anyway, we'll be back, so in a little less than 2 weeks, and we appreciate your comments and the thumbs up. So it was nice to see that on our YouTube page. So
yes, thank you so much, and the comments were lovely.
They definitely were, and anybody that does need a little more light their way through these storms or whatever it may be, go ahead and say it, and we'll all join in together and make it brighter, help make it brighter for you, because the more that input we have, it works. It's like prayer. Prayer works. Same thing to me. So anyway, or any other comments that you want to make on what we have talked about, and expand or comment, it doesn't matter, but we appreciate that too. All right. Okay, do you have some last words, Royce?
Well, I'm just very grateful to be on this planet with all of you who are listening. And please do be mindful of life in all forms that have been affected, especially with this past hurricane, Helene. It's not just people, but it's animals and the plant life. Everything, life, has been greatly affected. So please be mindful and grateful, sending out gratitude to all that has been and for the new that is coming. I am just so in awe of how people are coming together, and so grateful for everyone here. And I thank you, everyone who has been able to stay. Thank you so much for doing your part.
Thank you. And love to you all. Feel it in your hearts. And, God works. God is you, within you, and works through your hands. So it's all to me, it's all the same thing. And it's happening. And we're certainly getting an opportunity to assist one another and come together as community worldwide. And that's what it's all about. All right. Thank you, and blessings to all. And good day.
Good day.